the first version, our first draft, and we're going to refine it some more. We basically are going to go inside of the function perform view choice, and we are going to include the algorithm steps. We're going to decide how we're going to do each of the menu choices. In the example, I will give you one or two. I will not give you all of them, but I will get you started. Let's take a look at B. Okay, if we look at B, we see that we're going to do the algorithm steps, but let's go look at the main, and let's look at it a little. Dang it. Sorry about that. Let's look at the main, and notice that the main has an inventory of 30 cars. The automobile class has a constructor so that each of the cars really is initialized, but they are all initialized to the same thing. The good news is by the time we get this program together, we actually have test data. And when we actually run the program later on, we don't need to handle 30 cars, so we're just going to say, yeah, we got 30 cars, we only want to use 5 of them. We're going to do that later. Now let's take a look at the algorithm steps and perform, see what we have to do. All right. If I want to display the full inventory menu, we're not going to put the algorithm steps for that. Instead, we're going to do 2, where step 2 says display the full inventory, but by increasing MSRP. So what does that require? It simply requires that you sort first. We're not going to write the code yet, but we know we must sort, and then we must display the inventory, the entire inventory, the same way we did it up here. Okay? Notice that case 1 is the same as case V for program 4. All right? What else? Do we want to do more? Yeah, let's look at case 5. Case 4 will be left to you, but case 5 says display cars selected by year and display them in ascending odometer order. So that the first thing we got to do is, oh shoot, okay, I missed something here. Notice the first thing you really need to do is read what year you want. Then you want to pick out the cars from the inventory that match this year. Then once we have the cars picked, we need to sort this array in ascending order and then display the array the same way we did it up here. All right? So let's just go ahead and fix this since we made our boo-boo. Step 2, 3, 4. Step 1 is we're going to read the year. Okay. Now, we're going to see on the next step that the function that will pick out cars based on year has certain parameters, and we'll analyze what the parameters are at that point. All right, and I think at this point we're pretty much done with B. How many of you are noticing that I'm going very slowly? I'm doing that on purpose because you get overwhelmed when you try to do more than one thing. So what's our next step? Well, we made a few changes, and it looks like we just added comments, but we're going to compile anyway to make sure that our, we're going to do this? No. We want to compile anyway to make sure that we're not making a mess. So let's take a look. Compile B. We didn't mess up anything, and we're going to also just go ahead and compile it and have an executable. We'll call this B. We'll call this B. Oh man, B. Oh, didn't do that right. Didn't do it right. One more time. Okay, we got a couple things, so let me just point out something to you. I have two commands here. The first command is to compile b underscore view main. That will produce a b underscore view main.o. It is the b underscore view main.o that we're using to compile with all the rest of the components here. And if you were doing this separately, you will see that this second compile takes no time at all, since we are really just doing object files. Now let's move directly into step C, because in step C we're going to go and look at what calls we have to make. So let's go into C. And let's go. So first of all, let's notice that in carlot perform choice function for the main menu, we are given a choice, we're given our inventory, we're given the number of cars. In the main menu, we can change the number of cars because we can buy and sell cars, or we can load cars. And we're also passing the summary data about the activity on the car lot. Now, how much of this do we need when we're just doing the viewing function? Well, certainly we need a, when we perform view, we need a view, we need the inventory, we need the number of cars, but viewing can never change the number of cars, so we don't pass it by reference. Viewing does not print any summary information that you get from this, so we don't need that. All right? So the header for view, for perform view choice, we've decided upon it. Okay? And likewise, we can go back in to the main, and we can go ahead, and we haven't done that yet. We haven't done the main yet. But eventually, when we call view choice, we're going to pass the same parameters as we had before. So basically, the prototype that we want, I'm messing up. Okay. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This prototype we're going to take and copy it down into the main and have it in front of our eyes so that when we make the actual call, we'll know how to call it. So why don't we just do that? We're just talking. Let's just do it. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to make it a real call. Do I have a choice? Yes, this is the variable for the choice is up here. It's called view choice. It's not v choice. The inventory is where? The inventory is right here. Here's our variable from the main. We have the inventory defined there. So we're going to do that. We're passing it. We're not declaring it. And for number of cars, we have the variable number of cars. So we're making the call. And we've got to put a semicolon. So what we've done is we've said, perform view choice. We analyze what parameters we need. When we make the call, we're passing those parameters using the variables that are in the main. All right? So with that, we're going to save that and try to compile it. Okay. Here's our compile. We're doing C now. And that compiles. Of course, when you do it, it's not going to compile, but you will know that I only touched the code 1 or 2 places, so you can fix whatever is missing. All right. Now, I think we've done all we set out to do, and we're going to quit at this point.